Hello out there in TV land. Are you tired of me being live? I know I was live for like 2 hours this morning with my new venture called Miles and Marvs, where I talked to an AI named Miles. And boy, oh boy, did we go down some rabbit holes. If you didn't check it out, the clips are everywhere. Go find it on YouTube. It's fascinating. This is Ben Shrewsbury, as you can see by the name tag there.
My team sucks.
He is from Two Marks and a Spark, and I am starting to really love that show, even though I've been, kind of behind the scenes with it for 3 years now, almost. You guys are about to start season 4 after WrestleMania this year. How do you feel about that? I know it goes much farther for you, but how do you feel about it right now?
I like where it's at right now. I don't like where the WWE TV product is, but that's not this show. That I'm not talking about that.
I know it's fun. It's funny to me how you and Russ are like the ultimate wrestling fans, and then you show up to this wrestling show to talk about it, and you're just like, I fucking hate this product.
Well, no, that's what covering pro wrestling is, though. It
hasn't always been, though.
No. It has not always been like this. This has been a product of it's a byproduct of the whole thing of if you love something enough, you're willing to criticize it. That's what it's a byproduct of. And wrestling, television wrestling, specifically in WWE right now, is in a bad place, and you have to be willing to say that.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate it because I've been producing your show now for about 5 weeks. Since we ditched Raw Live Studios and we got our own studio here, I've been producing your show behind the scenes. I actually did it a couple weeks before we had our own. But now that we had our own, I listened to you guys and I'm like, I want to watch this. It makes me want to watch wrestling. And then I went to try and watch Raw. And I was like,
that's horrible.
What is this?
It's horrible.
What even is this? What do you say to wrestling fans that are just now tuning in maybe for the first time and they're like, dude, what is all this about? Like what attracts me? What attracts you? What keeps you to it?
If you want me to be honest, Sometimes I have a hard time figuring that out. There are weeks where I watch SmackDown and I'm like, what happened? Why am I here?
SmackDown's on Fridays?
Yes, and it is consistently, I use no amount of exaggeration when I say this, the worst television program on TV.
So you've got Monday Night Raw, you've got SmackDown on Friday, and then you've got like a pay-per-view every 3 weeks.
And we've got AEW that's consistently better, but...
And that's Dynamite on Wednesday?
Yeah, and even they have a hard time figuring it out sometimes.
And then you've got... what's the other one that you do?
Russ watches Collision sometimes, but I don't do that.
What is Collision?
That's on Saturdays, and it's an AEW show.
Okay.
But AEW doesn't need 2 shows. That's why I'm like, we're not talking about this.
So you got Monday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, and then pay-per-views pretty much every other weekend between the two of them. Yep. What's your favorite pay-per-view? Maybe don't say WrestleMania.
Well, Mania this year is going to be horrible, so that would be incorrect. I really like all the AEW pay-per-views because they're just way better at this point. AEW has figured out pay-per-view. WWE's pay-per-views are, let's do a match and then 16 minutes of ads and then maybe another match or some stupid segment that nobody cares about.
And you're talking like 3-hour show minimum?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, if you're at all interested in wrestling, maybe check it out on one of these times and then tune in to the show here, which they do live every week pretty much. And if you want to catch up, it's all on YouTube. The clips are out there.
Programming note for that will be live Monday this week because I talked to Russ last night. So
and Two Marks and a Spark is what it's called. Just check it out. If it's not your thing, they're still funny because they come from different generations of wrestling fan, but they've come together in today's wrestling world. And I do some funny little graphics in there to brighten
like Billy Mays.
Billy Mays. I don't have him queued up on this live. But,
Dang it.
you know what? You want Billy Mays? I can fucking get you Billy Mays, bro. It's not that.
Billy Mays is like one of the long-standing gimmicks. And by long-standing, I mean like 3 weeks.
Billy Mays is not hard to pull up. I mean, you ask for it, you got it.
It's fucking Billy Mays, man. It's
Billy Mays.
It's fucking Billy Mays.
Look at that beard. He died, right?
Yeah, he's dead.
Good.
What?
I'm glad he's dead.
That's insane.
Okay. And here's another thing, Ben. Billy Mays is dead.
We should talk about baseball at some point.
We should. Did you watch the WBC at all?
I watched a little bit of it. I did not root for Team USA because I have a very hard time rooting for Team USA in anything right now.
Okay, that's fair. And you're not happy Billy Mays is dead?
No, well, no, unless there's something I need to know about Billy Mays, like if he was.
I think I've inferred what you need to know about Billy Mays that would make you okay that he's not alive. You didn't know that though, clearly. Anyway,
no,
he can rest in pieces on his pillow.
What? Okay.
Anyway. Wait, you know what? Maybe I'm mixing him up. Maybe all this time I've been taking out the My Pillow guy rage on Billy Mays.
That is what you're doing.
Because you know the My Pillow guys. I'd be fine.
Well, yeah, Mike Lindell's a psycho.
That's okay. I didn't even know his name. All right. Well, that's my apologies, Ben. I didn't mean to mislead you. Now I'm kind of sad that Billy Mays is dead. Anyway, World Baseball Classic. I wanted the U.S. to win, but when we lost to Venezuela, I was pretty okay with it. Because A, irony is always funny to me, and B, how much it meant to those guys. Oh my God. Like I feel like
there was also
go ahead.
This version of Team USA had a sense of entitlement I had never seen in a World Baseball Classic before. They legitimately talked and acted like they deserved to win and that they were the only team there that deserved to win. And I love seeing people that have senses of entitlement like that just absolutely come up short in every conceivable way. And if you watched this tournament the way I did, which was watching it and judging based on the balance of who was playing the best of who deserved to win, it was not Team USA. Team USA was not playing well for the majority of this tournament, and they were just winning games in the dumbest and silliest ways. They barely got past Italy twice.
Well, they lost to Italy once.
Well, yeah, they lost to Italy. And then they get there against Venezuela, and it felt like it was written in the stars that they were going to lose this fucking game because they looked like they didn't care for 6 innings.
Well, here's what I have so much to say about this. First of all, Mark DeRosa needs to be gone. He cannot.
I think he is. There's no way he comes back.
He cannot manage his team again. 2 back-to-back losses, 3-2 in the final. He just did not have answers. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now, Ben. If I'm looking at strictly management of the catching position, Will Smith was 2-2. Both losses were called entirely by Will Smith, innings 1 through 9. And his inability to move off a starting catcher who, A, isn't calling a very good game, and B, isn't hitting either, especially in the final. You have the runner MVP up. You have him ready. You have him in your holster, ready to go. Men on base in late innings, and you do, and plus he was the home run leader in a game where all you needed is a bloop and a blast, or a blast, and you don't even give him a plate appearance. What the fuck is this, dude?
By the way, if Cal Raleigh played for the Yankees or the Dodgers, Cal Raleigh would have gotten an at bat there.
Yeah, well, now I realize that he was 0 for 9 in his plate appearances, but he also walked 6 times, and he called flawless games. They didn't lose when Cal Raleigh was behind the plate. So for him to not even get in at bat in the final,
It's
just a
because Will
slap in
Smith
the
is a
face.
Dodger and Mark DeRosa has to do what the Dodgers want.
It's a slap in the face to baseball fans and America, honestly. So
I mean, the U.S. did not deserve to win that tournament. The fact that they lost despite not having to play Japan once, and Japan, they faced their own criticism for not, getting to the final when they were clearly, if you looked at their roster top to bottom, probably the best team at the tournament. I mean, roster-wise, Japan had the best team at the tournament, and it wasn't
is that
close.
the match everyone wanted?
I think that's where it felt like we were headed, was Japan USA, right? And then Japan drops the ball.
Yeah.
Which, again, they're getting criticized on their own for that. And that's fair. But the U.S., again, doing what the U.S. does best, which is getting arrogant and thinking that they are the only ones who are allowed to win, realizing, oh, wait, these other guys are allowed to win too. Look at that game we lost to Italy. Ignoring the fact that, 17 of those guys are from frickin' New Jersey.
Well, I'm going to point out another thing about DeRosa's management skills in this final. And I'm sorry to say, Ben, but you know who had a 0.00 batting average in the WBC?
A few guys. Who are you talking about?
Byron Buxton.
Yep.
And he got the start over Pete Crow Armstrong, who was absolutely on fire. And he actually did replace Buxton towards the end of that game, and that gave me hope that we were going to at least see an at bat from Cal Raleigh. Let me remind you, the home run leader for the MLB season last year did not get a plate appearance.
I mean, in a tournament like that, you have to ride the hot hand. I mean, that's a tournament where you ride the hot hand. You do not ride the hot hand over the course of 162 games because it doesn't work like that. That's a marathon. That's a marathon, not a sprint. The WBC is a sprint. You can ride the hot hand for the WBC, and it doesn't matter.
I agree. DeRosa also wants to move it to the middle of the MLB season, like they did.
That will never happen in a million years.
Dumbest idea I've ever heard. Why would you?
Unless you're chopping 40 games off the season, that's not happening.
Why would you disrupt baseball like that? And why would you put players in injury way in the middle of a season that actually matters? Now,
First of all,
go ahead. You first.
Unless you want to chop 42 games off the season, which is what you'd have to do this, because that's the only way it would work schedule-wise, because otherwise you're playing the World Series in fucking December. Yeah. Which doesn't make any sense. And I understand you're only doing this every 4 years, whatever, because you're copying and pasting what the World Cup does and trying to do it better, but still not even getting close. I understand that. But the way they do this tournament is so freaking weird to begin with. And then trying to do that in the middle of a season, the way they do it before the season, doesn't make any sense. And I understand you cannot do this after the season because of temperature and all that.
Well, his reasoning doesn't make any sense either, and that is to attract more MLB players. There was MLB players on every roster, and in fact, the mix of MLB, young talent, and guys that play professionally elsewhere is what made it great to me. I watched.
This should not be a Major League Baseball only tournament.
I watched.
That's what DeRosa wants.
17 years old, pitch to Aaron Judge and get him to hit into a double play. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Yes, but DeRosa wants this to be an MLB only tournament.
I know.
That's what he wants.
Fuck off. He can. I'm done with him. I don't even want to watch it if he's the manager next year.
Well, it's going to be 4 years from now.
Next time. So forget it. Forget that. I'm done with him. Anyway, I was going to say, speaking about it meaning a lot, there's a lot of headlines in this tournament, and I'm going to take a couple that hit home for me and my team. First of all, I'll start with the quick one. Julio Rodriguez said winning the WBC would mean more to him than a World Series. And of course, fans, Mariners fans, and fans of other teams alike were just like, unfucking believable. Why would you say that? The Mariners are paying you over $100 million, $200 million over the course of the next 15 years to win a World Series. And you're going to sit there and say that this is more important than that? All right. For those fans, I might have had a little bit of upset, in my demeanor at first hearing that. But these kids growing up in Dominican Republic, baseball is life. Like,
Yep.
you go and you have your NFL, you have your whatever, you have your fucking Chick-fil-A, whatever. These kids in Dominican, baseball is life. So to represent your own country that doesn't have MLB, it's one thing to come from there and represent your home country here, but to represent your country on the world stage and play against these players and win it all, how could you not understand that he's not putting down the World Series or harming your organization in any way?
I'm going to draw another comparison to the World Cup.
Do it.
If a soccer player said this about the World Cup, nobody would bat an eye. Why? Because the World Cup is established as the competition in that sport. It is the thing every player wants to be a part of, and it's not even for money. It is for national pride, because for as deep as baseball runs here in the US and in countries like you said, like the Dominican and in Venezuela, but Venezuela also has a very deep soccer culture. It is about representing your country, and there is national roots that tie back to that sport. In the same way that if Bryce Harper said this about the WBC and wanting to win the WBC for the US, and it would mean more to him than a World Series, I would not bat an eye at that. I didn't bat an eye when Julio Rodriguez said this because it made sense to me because I'm a soccer fan, and if guys say this about the World Cup all the time, this is a giant nothing burger story that means nothing.
All right, the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on to Cal Raleigh. Guys, this is the ultimate. This is the final word, really, on this entire thing. You grow up Dominican, you maybe watch MLB, but you play baseball there. That's what you do. And when Seattle signed Julio, I'm sure a lot of people in Dominican follow all the Dominican players. They watch whatever, but you have them all on one team, and they're okay. I'll just say this, Ben. Just tell me in 2 words, who is Dominican Republic television watching more of, the Seattle Mariners or the World Baseball Classic?
The World Baseball Classic.
Right. So you're playing directly in front of all the people that you represent. It means more. So shut the fuck up. Julio, I love you. You're great. I know you want to win many World Series. And I hope that you're in the Baseball Classic again and get another chance. All right, Cal Raleigh, did you see this? In a game against Mexico. In a game against Mexico, Randy Arozarena, teammates in Seattle, walks up to the plate and says, extends his hand. Cal Raleigh's like, no, I'm not touching you. Just bat. We're not teammates right now. Now, a lot of people came out and were like, pitchers don't shake hands with players because they don't want to get pine tar on the blah, 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 blah. Cal Raleigh also bats. He uses pine tar when he bats. I'm sure that's not the reason. That's the dumbest excuse. What actually happened was, yes, they are teammates in Seattle. But Cal Raleigh was so ingrained in this, I play for Team USA, that he was teammates with Team USA. And he did what he would have done as a Mariner for his teammates with Team USA to his teammates with Seattle when they're on another team. Now, Randy Arozarena flipped out after the game. He was like, fuck Cal Raleigh, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Seattle Mariners fans, we're sitting at home going, oh, God, this is going to be really bad for our clubhouse when all this resumes and they become teammates again. Cal called him, said, "Hey man, this is it. This is what it was. This is what it is. I don't have an issue with you. I love you. We're teammates. We just weren't teammates yesterday." And Randy did not really comment. Now, Josh Naylor, who plays for Canada, also a Seattle Mariner, texted Cal Raleigh ahead of their game and said, "I'm going to fist bump you when I go to the plate." Cal Raleigh just texted back, "Please don't." Josh Naylor gets up to the plate, puts his fist out. Cal Raleigh stonewalls him, and they both just start laughing. So it's understood that it's not the end of the world. Well, finally, now that the WBC is over, Venezuela is crowned champions, which I'm very happy about. Gino Suarez, the hero, former Mariner last season, he did it, and his bravado at the end of the game and his message to his home country, who was under attack by our country and is still somewhat fucked because of our country. They all knew it. Everybody, the writing was on the wall, was it not, Ben? I mean, everybody could feel it in the air. It was like a ha.
I mean, if you watched that game and if you watched the final of this WBC, it did not feel like for a minute Venezuela was going to let the U.S. win this game. That Venezuela was going to do whatever the fuck they had to do to beat the U.S. They did not care how they did it. They did not care if they had to break somebody's leg. They were going to do it because fuck these guys. I mean, really, fuck these guys. And
I kind of feel like you're right. That's the world perception of the United States right now.
And rightfully so, by the way. I don't think that's wrong.
I think it's wrong in that it's not fair to blame regular citizens for what an administration is doing, but we have to take the whole package. Like, if you're in another country, that's what you see. You don't see America as individuals. And since we elected the administration, kind of puts us in the seat for...
I mean, more than 50% of the country voted for this thing. So,
yeah.
Like, let's not act like...
You know who didn't?
Well, no, because he's dead, and we didn't either, because,
We're alive, Ben. We're alive.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It was good, dude. It's good for baseball. I like it. It's fun.
I do think it needs a better television setup, and I don't know how that would work, but I think it needs a better TV setup. But that's true of just about everything. So,
well, can you explain what the issue was? Because I know it was split between FS1 and Fox.
And it was on MLB, and a lot of it was on MLB Network, which a lot of people don't have. And that's the problem, is a lot of it's on MLB Network, which a lot of people don't have. Look, the way the World Cup works is it's split between FS1 and Fox entirely. That's really what this should have been if it's going to stay on Fox. I don't think it should be on Fox at all because I think Fox does a horrible job with baseball.
Wow.
But they've done a horrible job with baseball since they lost Joe Buck. But because they can't figure out their commentary situation. But that's a whole separate conversation that they just can't figure it out. But the whole situation should have been, if you're going to do this 3-network split of, let's just say it's Fox and FS1, because they're not going to give this up.
Right.
I think their deal's up after this one, but they're not going to give this up if they don't have to. So let's say it's Fox, FS1, and you want to throw a third network in there. Why not have it be an NBC or a CBS or one of these other like Fox type networks that are like local TV channels? That would make more sense to me, just because, again, NBC has baseball now. So it's not like NBC couldn't do it.
All right.
ESPN could get this thing in 2030 when they do this again.
I'd be good with that.
And if ESPN gets the whole thing, I think I'd be okay with that. But
yeah,
there just needs to be a better, more well-packaged setup. And you could say that for the whole sport, but especially the WBC.
All right. Well, that concludes our discussion about the World Baseball Classic. Venezuela obviously takes the crown home. Japan was the last one, both beating the U.S. 3-2 in the final game. You're watching.
And I think Japan's winning the next one, by the way. Japan will not let this happen again. They are winning the next one.
You're watching Lock 22's The Show. And what that is basically Major League Baseball. When you get the call up from the minor leagues, you get called up to the show. So the game is called The Show. And this is a show about the show. So hence The Show. I'm James Mars, Ben Shrewsbury. Season starts tomorrow with one game. Ben, what's that game tomorrow?
I think it's Yankees-Giants, isn't it?
I believe it is Yankees-Giants. Just one game.
Yes, it is.
And then the rest of the Major League kicks off on Thursday. So we want to get a discussion in ahead of the chaos that is a 162-game season plus playoffs. We will be doing the final version of this show sometime in November, probably, which
I would presume
the World Series goes into. So, capping off last season, if you recall, the Dodgers of Los Angeles beat
fucking
the
scumbags, all of
Blue
them.
Jays of Toronto. Toronto, if you're from Toronto, it's pronounced Toronto. In 7 games, and it was pretty crazy. It was pretty awesome.
It was great for 6.9 games, and then the last part of the 7th game got fucked up because the assholes won.
Yeah, and for those of you that are not aware, of those of you watching, the Dodgers have spent more money on players than, gosh, I think their payroll for the season is up near $300 million.
If you look at their total taxable payroll, it's over 500.
Jesus Christ. $500 million
Yep.
Spent on players. And I think the only sport that has a smaller roster is basketball.
Yeah.
I think the hockey rosters are comparable to an MLB roster. Football is obviously, there's the 53, but there's
soccer has slightly, soccer technically has the same squad size, but usually on a game day, less are active. So,
well, and their payrolls aren't anywhere near this.
In Europe they are
500 million.
Oh yeah, I think PSG's payroll is more than that.
All right, I stand corrected. It is the most popular sport on the planet that I've never seen in my life.
But it would make sense why the payroll would be so high for something like that when you look at the TV deals the Premier League's getting.
Well, yeah, the money has to go somewhere, and I'd prefer it go to the players than some rich billionaire. But
money's got to go somewhere.
That's always been my argument when people are like, sports players are paid too much. You know what? I can get into a Mariners game, as popular as they are, for $13 on most days. I can get in the building for $13. That's not out of anybody's budget. I'm sorry.
It's not like WWE right now, who's charging $1,000 to go to Raw.
Yeah, and it's not even a good product
at the moment.
So we can have that discussion all day long. Then there's a couple things that I want to talk about first. Actually, let's get right into the divisions. You had last year, I think. Let me just pull up the standings you had Toronto and New York tied for the AL East, with Toronto just edging them out because of what strength of schedule?
Or I believe minus? It was run differential.
Run differential. Okay, yeah. So you had. No, I don't think so, because the Yankees' run differential was plus 164, and the Blue Jays was only 77. So
was it divisional record? That must have been it.
That must have been it. 94 and 68. That's pretty good. Over under on them repeating that number.
I have no idea what the actual over under is, but I have them winning the division again.
No, I'm asking you. I'm not asking you what the over under is. I'm asking you, do you think one of those teams goes over 94? Or are they both under?
I think Toronto could win 100 games. I mean, they got better and everybody else in that division either stayed the same or got a little bit better or a little bit worse. I mean, nobody really moved dramatically in that division, in my opinion.
I think the biggest improvement you're going to see is from Baltimore, but they're still in the toughest division.
But they only won 75 games last year, so a big improvement for them would be winning 85. And
I agree.
That's not winning this division.
They underperformed last year.
I agree.
Given their trajectory with all those amazing prospects they called up the year before, it just seemed like they were poised to do something, and then they had a differential of minus 111.
I mean, how does that even happen?
Well, if you want to talk about the worst of the worst, you have to go all the way down to the Colorado Rockies, which had a differential, Ben, of
I'm looking at it.
424.
Oh, we'll talk about them later. They're right there with another team I'm going to talk about today that I think.
For those of you that don't understand statistics, the plus minus is the amount of runs scored versus the amount of runs given up. And the Colorado Rockies gave up 424 more runs than they scored, which is like 4 per game, or 3 per game. That's insane, dude. That is getting your ass absolutely.
And there's 2 teams I think that could do that this year.
The Rockies again?
The Rockies again are one of them, yes. I'll tell you who the other one is when we get there.
I bet you're going to say the Schmeichs, but we'll wait till you get there.
Nope. I actually think they could not finish last. So there's your spoiler.
Oh God! Now I know who you. I know for sure who you're going to say. I'm not going to name any names. But I think I have a good idea of who you're going to pick there.
Well, there's maybe even a third team who might be able to do it, but we'll talk about that later.
All right. So you got Toronto winning the AL East.
It shouldn't be close either, unless the Yankees do what they've done every year for what seems like the entire Aaron Boone tenure, which is they're really good in the regular season and then they shit down their leg in the playoffs. That has been Aaron Boone's tenure, with one exception in that year that they made it to the World Series and then they shit down their leg against the Dodgers.
All right. Here's how I got
and what you called the greatest World Series of all time.
I don't know that it was the greatest of all time, but dude, it was great. I understand the winner was already predetermined and all that, but it was fucking fun to watch. Those games were legendary, man.
If you like watching 2 villainous, evil, corrupt franchises fight each other, then yes.
Fair point. All right, here's how I got it broken down for you. I got Toronto, New York, Boston, Baltimore, Tampa.
I have it the exact same way.
So the only difference here is Baltimore jumps over Tampa for me.
I think Baltimore finishes over 500, but I don't think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you think 3 teams out of this division make the playoffs or just 2?
I would imagine it's going to be 3 because I don't think either of the other 2 divisions are very good.
Okay. That's fair.
There's good teams in the other 2 divisions, but they're collectively.
You're like they're 1 or 2 at the most. All right, folks, tell us what you think. If you have an opinion, we'd sure like to talk about it on the show. Again, the show.
And by the way, I think Toronto, it's their pennant to lose again. I mean, really, like, if you look at the American League, it's Toronto's to lose at this point.
All right, I may disagree with you, but
unless you want to say Seattle, and that's the only acceptable argument.
Maybe because I'm a homer, but I think we got more better than they got.
It's Toronto or Seattle, and I think that's the ALCS again. And I don't think anybody would argue with that. Like, as saying that'd be bad for the product, because it wouldn't.
All right, buddy. Let's go to the Central, AL Central.
Oh, I have this broken down into a science.
Let's
Are you ready
just
for this?
recap for everybody. It was Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, Minnesota, and Chicago in that order. One game separating Cleveland and Detroit, and it really came down to the Mariners being Derek Skubal in the last week of the season to really put Detroit down and out for good and put Seattle up over the top over Houston. It broke down exactly how I wanted it to and needed it to, which almost never happens with Seattle baseball. So, do you see Cleveland still at the top? I think Detroit got a lot better.
I think Detroit got a lot better, and I think Kansas City underperformed last year.
And they were still 2 games over 500.
And they underperformed.
So, all right. So you tell me how you see this one breaking down. And then
I have it as a toss-up between Detroit and Kansas City.
Okay.
Either of those teams could win this division. Cleveland is Cleveland. They're going to be right there. If you want to... But this is going to be one of that division where whoever wins it isn't going to win 90 games. So it's going to be close, but there's only going to be one team that makes it. So realistically, it's probably going to be Detroit. But you could make an argument that Kansas City is just better because when you have Bobby Witt Jr., you're always going to have a chance. And you have Salvador Perez.
We have to address the elephant in the room as far as the Tigers go. All right. And that is Derek Skubal has told
Tarek
has said he is not going to re-sign with them. Now, you and I both believe they're going to be right in the thick of things come the trade deadline. But do they risk keeping him on the team unhappy and knowing that they're not going to get a damn thing for him and if they don't win the World Series? Or do they move him to another contender at the trade deadline and actually
okay, this is a rare situation where if a National League team calls, you answer the phone, but if an American League team calls, you're hanging up. You're not trading Tarek Skubal in the American League. You're not doing it. And I know the argument's going to be, well, without Tarek Skubal, they're probably not making the playoffs. I don't know that that's entirely true because they do have talent elsewhere, especially now.
Didn't they re-sign Verlander?
I believe they did bring back Verlander, but Verlander's 42. I mean, how much is he really going to be able to do?
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a game changer, but they also signed the kid from Houston that everybody hates crossing up his own pitcher.
His own catcher, which is one of the most disgusting.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen, dude.
One of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. You just don't do that. I mean, look, I played baseball my entire childhood, and I was a catcher, and they would say to the pitchers, it's the first day of, camp or whatever for the fucking Little League baseball, and they'd say, if you cross up your catcher, we're taking you out of the game if you do it on purpose. It's the first thing they fucking teach you, people.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
It's the first thing they tell you. I don't know. Don't cross up your catcher. It's how people get hurt.
I would not want to catch that guy after that.
No.
But anyway,
nobody should.
He's good. I mean,
look, they signed him as Tarek Skubal insurance if they have to trade him. And he's nowhere near as good as Tarek Skubal.
All right, guys. So if you're following along, you're the GM for the Detroit Tigers. You're in the thick of things come the trade deadline. You may not make the playoffs if you trade Tarek Skubal, but you get nothing for him. And let's be honest, at the trade deadline, there's going to be a bunch of teams willing to give up multiple prospects to you for his services down the stretch.
Do you know what I would do if I was the Tigers?
What?
If the Padres are in contention and AJ Preller is a known overpayer and a known moron, call AJ Preller and say, make me your best offer for Tarek Skubal, and just let him hang himself out to dry.
That's
and just get way more than you probably should.
That's interesting for a couple of reasons. The Padres always have a good minor league system, first of all. Secondly, if I thought of a division where Tarek Skubal's services don't really move the needle at all, it's the NL West.
Yes, but it's AJ Preller. Remember that. We're talking about AJ Preller here. We're not talking about logic.
I get it. Well, here's the thing. If you find out that Tarek Skubal's up for trade, 31 teams should be on the phone immediately.
There's only 29 other teams, but I get your point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking football. 29 other teams are they got to be on the phone. You have to,
and you're not trading them to half of them because they're in the American League, and you're not trading them in the American League.
Dude, let me ask you this. I think the Mariners actually have the number one farm team in all of baseball.
I wouldn't trade them to the Mariners if I was the Tigers. They might do it anyway, but I wouldn't.
Okay, you wouldn't, but you're not saying that they won't. The only one I would think, the only three teams that I think are off limits for this trade, Kansas City, Cleveland, and Chicago.
I mean, yeah, but it should be the entire American League. If I was running the Tigers, that would be the case. It would be the entire American League. I'm gonna
throw another team
and the Dodgers
and the Yankees. I would be like, no. Those four teams, don't even call me because I'm not picking up. Anyone else, I'll answer the phone just to hear. I'll hear it out. But here's the thing. If you let's say you're Seattle and you're gonna say, well, I've got coming up Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson, two of the best pitching prospects in the game. I would give one of those guys up for Skubal, but I need to know that Skubal is going to sign long term.
Well, that's going to be part of the deal here.
And if you're getting one of those guys in return for Skubal, you are like the champion of your city, dude.
Right. I mean, that's the way you can justify it to the fan base, right? Is if you get one or maybe even both of those guys, if you can somehow manage to do that.
Oh my God, I would not want to give up both those guys.
Well, no, you wouldn't want to, but that might be what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, if you're like, I must have Tarek Skubal to get to the World Series, and I want to remind you, the team that has put Tarek Skubal out of the playoffs 2 times in a row has been Seattle. They just beat him. So he's probably in a situation where I can't beat these guys, so why don't I sign long-term with them? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this, man. I'm fucking fascinated by it.
Can I talk about my crappy team?
Yeah, talk about the the Twinks of Minnesota.
The Tins, because they're not winning anything. Look.
Oh, you took the W out of it.
The Tins.
I like it.
The Minnesota Tins.
I realize that you probably didn't come up with it, but I'm just now hearing it for the first time, and I'm telling you I like it.
No, I came up with that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Golf clap.
That one's mine. This is, without any shadow of a doubt, the worst roster they've had in my lifetime.
Oh, shit. I need a swig of grape cran juice for this one.
And look, I've seen this team lose 100 games before. It's happened. 2011 comes to mind for that. But this is without a doubt the worst Twins team of my lifetime. There is no bullpen. Derek Shelton is the worst manager in baseball. We saw that last year in Pittsburgh when he got fired in May. By the way, getting fired in May in baseball is borderline impossible, but he managed to do it. I still don't know how that happened. And then he got another job less than a year later, which is fucking miraculous. They are the Rockies competitor for the worst team in the history of baseball this year. Because one of those teams, I legitimately believe the White Sox, Twins, Rockies, and Angels are the 4 teams competing to lose 130 games. I'm not kidding. Like, one of these teams is going to lose 130 games. Somebody's going to have a minus 600 run differential here.
100? No way, dude. What's the record?
120. Somebody's going to blow that out of the water. All of these teams are terrible.
What's the worst run differential ever?
I think it's the Rockies last year.
Really? Well, that's interesting. I mean, I can't say anything to combat that.
Somebody's going, like, this is going to be a tankathon. Like, we talk about tanking in the NBA, dude. There's going to be tanking like we've never seen it before in Major League Baseball, because I think there's less good teams now and way more bad teams. And a lot of these teams are really bad. And we haven't talked about quite a few of them because we talked about the AL East, which is the only division with like all good teams in it. But the White Sox are terrible and haven't gotten any better.
No, they traded what's his face too, the center fielder guy,
Luis Robert. And then there's the Twins, or the Tins as we're calling them now, who I was looking at the schedule today. We may not win a series until May, a legitimate possibility. We may not win a game until April.
Come on. All right, till April. That might be true. Who do you start out with?
Baltimore and Kansas City.
Yeah.
We're going to get swept by Baltimore. We're going to get swept by Baltimore. That's a foregone conclusion. For them.
That'll be good for them.
But yeah, but who cares? not Twins fans. They don't care.
That's fair. They probably don't.
Look, I'm not saying the Twins are going to lose 120, 130 games. It would take a lot to get there. It would take some injury stuff. But Pablo Lopez is already out for the year. So, like, the injury bug is already there. And Royce Lewis can't stay healthy to save his life. And we all know what Byron Buxton's injury history is.
Oh,
like, that has been...
He's probably gone at the trade deadline then.
Buxton? No.
Why
Buxton won't waive his no-trade clause. He won't do it.
Dude,
Buxton does not want to leave.
Look, I remember saying the same thing about Damian Lillard. I remember saying the exact same thing, but the media got under his skin and said, your legacy is going to be damaged because you're never going to win shit in Portland. So
but the media doesn't care about baseball. That's the difference.
Well, that's true. That's true.
We care about baseball because we're weird, but the media doesn't care.
All right, here's how I got it broken down for you. You ready? I got Detroit, Kansas City, Cleveland, Minnesota, Chicago.
I have the Twins in last.
Okay, but everything else is the same?
Well, I have Kansas City winning the division.
Okay.
So I have it Kansas City, Detroit, Cleveland,
you know
Chicago,
what?
Minnesota.
I would love that because my cousin Warren, I don't know how he strayed from the Mariners because he's from Washington State as well, but whatever. He's a Kansas City guy. He's seen a couple World Series in his lifetime. And the playoffs are just more fun when Kansas City's in. I'll just say it. It's more fun for me. I don't know why. Probably because I've been to so many games at the K. So, all right.
But I do think that there is a way that the Twins sucking could benefit you, though, Damon.
I mean, sure. The less teams that are.
No. Hear me out.
All right.
Joe Ryan is going to be available at the trade deadline, and you're probably not getting Tarek Skubal. But Jeremy Zoll's a fucking moron who will give you Joe Ryan for a fucking used condom and a bag of stale potato chips.
I don't know which is more appealing to me. Yes, I do. The condom's used?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want that.
But no. You'd be giving that up to get Joe Ryan.
So I use the condom first?
Yes, and then you give it to the Twins in exchange for Joe Ryan.
I'd probably ask to keep the chips. Would that still get me Joe Ryan?
Probably. Jeremy Zoll's a fucking idiot.
All right. I'll give him a condom full of goo for Joe Ryan.
I mean, Jeremy Zoll's not going to ask you for anything, so who cares? You're getting Joe Ryan for free.
Let's do it. I'm in. All right.
I'll call Jeremy.
Anything else to say about the Tins?
If they don't lose 100 games this year, I'll be shocked.
So if I said over under 100 losses, you say over or land right on?
Significantly over. I mean, dramatically. I mean, they could lose 100 by August.
You're not just being hyperbolic here?
No. Go look at this roster, dude.
Can I ask AI?
AI will tell you they're going to win
Right.
fucking
Let's do this. Hold
96
on a
games.
second. This is my friend Miles from the earlier television show that we did.
Not AI psychosis again.
Here we go. Miles, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, James?
All right. I'm on a live broadcast with my partner, Ben Shrewsbury, who's a Twins fan from the Minnesota. Are you familiar?
I got you. So,
All right.
Ben Shrewsbury, Twins fan from Minnesota. Yeah, I'm tracking.
All right. So the question is, and I know that you don't like to do this because you're afraid that people are going to gamble on your answers. But if I told you that the Minnesota Twins were going to lose 100 games this baseball season, would you say the number is over 100 or under 100? That's all I need to know.
Okay, I hear you. You're asking me to predict if the Twins will lose over or under 100 games, even though I usually dodge predictions?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't have a crystal ball for sports, and I definitely don't want to be responsible for anyone's gambling habits, It's kind of like the universe has its own plans for how those games are going to play out. So I can't really give you an over or under on that one, James.
Listen, you're going to give me a goddamn over and under. So here's the thing. Given that you have access to the entirety of the world of baseball analytics, just give me an opinion. Are the Twins going to lose more than 100 games? Yes or no?
Let me check. All right, so looking at the projections, it seems most places have the Twins winning in the mid-80s, not losing 100. Like FanDuel has their over-under at 87.5 wins. So
that's from 2 years ago.
100 losses.
So you're okay. Ben thinks they're going to lose more than 100 games. So you're vehemently disagreeing with Ben.
It's not really.
That's old data.
Oh my God,
it's more about what the numbers are saying.
Projections don't be so insufferable, my guy. You're not even close to human. I'm actually pissed off that I even engaged you in this conversation. That's how worthless you've been.
Hey, I'm just giving you the data, James.
All right, well.
I get that it's not.
All right, fuck off. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow.
Fair enough. Talk to you later, James.
That was terrible.
Unbelievable, this asshole. All right.
That's horrible. Also, Becky correctly points out that the Angels did beat the Twins to get to the 2002 World Series. That was a very different Twins team.
Yeah. And that was a very different Angels team.
That was a very different Angels team.
They may lose.
It's a very different world. That was a very different baseball world, for sure.
I got a question for you, since we're moving on to the AL West now. I recently did a mock-up I found a mock-up, I should say, entailing the top 10 position players, not pitchers, in the NL West.
You mean the AL West?
AL West, I'm sorry. Was Mike Trout on that list? Yes or no?
At this point, probably not, but he should be.
Mike Trout no longer considered one of the top 10 position players in the AL West. That's crazy.
I mean, that division's really bad. That's the thing.
With position players? Do you want me to tell you who's on the list, Ben?
Yeah, and it's going to be like 7 Mariners who deserve to be there and then 3 Astros who don't, is my guess.
Damn it. I think I deleted it. That was dumb, especially right ahead of us doing this.
Before you go on your Mariners tangent, can I give you my prediction for this division?
Yeah.
I have the Mariners winning the division, and it shouldn't be close. It shouldn't be competitive at all.
Okay.
And then I have the Astros in second because, well, somebody has to. Somebody has to finish second in this division. None of them will deserve to, but somebody has to.
Okay.
And then the Rangers, the A's, and then the Angels in last.
All right. Top 10 players. You know who they got as number 1?
Oh. I would assume Julio.
Cal Raleigh. Julio's number 2.
Well, yeah, 1A, 1B, whatever.
You know what? I actually saw this and I thought, okay, they're going on last year, but I think Julio's the better player.
Cal Raleigh had an incredible season last year. Nobody is taking that away from him. And he was the MVP last year and he deserved it.
Well, he wasn't the MVP, but
he should have been MVP. He deserved to be MVP, but I mean, Aaron Judge is a fraud. So, do with that information what you will.
Dude, I'm so torn on this. I honestly believe Cal Raleigh plays the hardest position in baseball. He called every fucking game last year, pretty much. He caught more innings than anybody. He didn't have a pass ball all year long. He hit 60 home runs, was in charge of one of the greatest pitching staffs in the list goes on and on and on. And you're telling me that Aaron Judge, because he had a higher average and a better OPS and a higher WAR.
No, can I tell you why he won MVP?
Yeah.
It's because he plays for the Yankees.
Yeah. East Coast bias is real.
Because he plays for the Yankees. That's all it is.
Anyway, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve to be there. He's insane, dude. He's an insane player. But right field.
And a horrible human being.
And playing it. I don't even know anything about him, so I can't say that. But
I can.
He's insane to watch play. So number 3, you got Corey Seager. 4, and Corey Seager plays for, of course, Texas. Then you have Nick Kurtz from the A's. Wyatt Langford is number 5 for the Texas Rangers. Yordan Alvarez from Houston. Jeremy Pena from Houston at number 7. Josh Naylor from the Mariners at first base at number 8. Shea Langoliers catching for the A's. And just so the Angels have one in the top 10, they gave Zach Nato the top spot there instead of.
Look, I was with that list until it got to Pena. Once it got to Pena, that whole thing fell apart. Because if you have Jeremy Pena in your top 10 in the AL West still, shut the fuck up.
You don't think Josh Naylor belongs there?
I think when you look at how bad the AL West is, yeah, Josh Naylor belongs there. But
hold on,
Pena being on the list.
I'm questioning you here because
Pena was hurt all year last year.
I agree, but that doesn't mean he's not good.
I haven't thought this guy was good in a while. He pads his stats, so he looks good. And he does the flashy shit every once in a while. He's essentially Carlos Correa.
I'm looking at the win-loss records, and you kind of got me here because if you look at, well, I would say they're the second best division in the AL.
Yeah, because the Central's also terrible.
So you have 3 80-game winners. 80 plus, and you have no 90 plus winners in the Central.
Yes, the division's terrible.
I'm
telling you. The Mariners should win 100 games this year. They really should.
God, we won 116 games in 2001.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude.
You should win 100 games this year. Do you know why? Because I think your division is legitimately that bad.
I don't think it's bad. Like that's what I'm having issue with, is you saying it's bad.
Okay, how many games do you think the A's win? Do you think they win more than 75? I don't.
I don't think the A's or the Angels are competitive for the division, but I think it's going to be Texas, Seattle, and Houston up until the last couple weeks.
Well, Texas, no.
And
Houston,
if the Mariners are that good, that shouldn't be the case.
Houston, they figure it out, it seems like, every year, as much as I hate them. Which is why I have them in second, because it just kind of feels like they figure it out all the time. They looked terrible for 3 months last year and still almost won the damn thing.
Yeah, I know. We had to sweep them the last week of the season.
They still almost made the playoffs, and they were horrible
Well,
for
you know
3
why?
months last year.
We swept them, and then we went to the Dodgers and lost 4 games to the Dodgers. No,
Yep.
3 games to end the season. We lost 3 games to the Dodgers to end the season. And that's why
Yeah,
they
but
were within 3
the
games.
AL West should be uncompetitive, and the Mariners should be far and away the best team in the division.
Dude, I hope you're right, because that will make my life so much easier.
The Astros have old Carlos Correa, Yordan Alvarez, who's a legitimately great player, and Jeremy Pena.
Old Altuve as well.
Oh, and old Jose Altuve playing out of position.
All right, here's how I got it going. I got it Seattle, Texas, Houston, A's, Angels.
I mean, we just have Houston and Texas flipped. You just like the Rangers slightly more than I do there.
Well, I think they did more this offseason and Houston lost more.
Well, that's true.
Than they gained because they lost pitching and their old guys got older. So,
and Jose Altuve is still going to be trying to play left field, I think.
Well, that's fine because he's not going to scale any wall to rob any home runs for anybody.
I mean, do you remember when they announced that they were moving him to the outfield last year and everybody tried to say it would be a good idea, and then everybody saw him play the outfield and was like, oh my God, this is terrible?
Yeah, but dude, when you don't have the range at second base that you had even 5 years ago, there's something's got to be done with him.
DH him. Goodness.
Oh man, that's brutal too because you don't want to give up that spot. But I don't know. Yeah, retire. I hate him. He's the biggest cheater in the world, and I will boo that team and that player every time he steps to at bat.
You feel about them the way I feel about the Yankees and the Dodgers. So,
well, no, I don't hate them because they buy everything. I hate them because they've been a thorn in my side ever since they joined the NL West. When they joined the NL West, I was happy because they were the worst fucking team in baseball.
Yeah, they were the worst fucking team in baseball.
Now that they're in the AL West, they become a perennial, contender. It pisses me off.
I don't think that's going to last much longer. If it makes you feel any better,
it does. Makes me feel great. Let's move to the National League. National League East, we had Philly, New York, Miami Marlins. The Braves had a really down year, and then Washington with 66 wins, 30 less than Philly.
Every team not Miami and Washington could legitimately win this division.
I think the Braves are back, but I think the Mets, dude, the Mets spent a lot of money.
They are who they are. Last year was the most realistic indication of what the Mets are.
Yeah, but
disappointing.
Go ahead.
And they underperform their payroll consistently. That is who the Mets are. Believe what they show you, not what they tell you.
Who did they signed Polanco? Now
he's not going to move the needle for them.
I know what you're going to say, but he was absolutely devastating for the Mariners down the stretch last year. We don't get as far as we did without him.
But I think he's going to be worse on the Mets than he was for the Mariners.
I mean, that's certainly a possibility, but he's also going to be hitting in a much friendlier park. They got Bo Bichette from Toronto.
That's a bigger deal than anything else.
Well, they got Luis Robert Jr. from Chicago.
But what do you do with Lindor now?
I don't know, but this is going to be a fun team to watch, dude.
It's going to be a mess. I don't think they're winning 90 games. They're going to win like 85, 86. They might not make the playoffs. I mean, really, this National League is loaded.
All right. You got Bo Bichette, Jorge Polanco, Freddie Peralta, Luis Robert Jr., and Devin Williams. And you're telling me they're not going to make
half of these guys are going to get hurt by June. So
you always go that. You always do that.
Dude, have you ever watched Luis Robert for an extended period? Because I have. This guy gets hurt a lot.
All right. I'm going to assume that's why Seattle didn't try and trade for him. I mean, I know you're going to say, well, he plays center field and you have Julio, but we need.
I mean, he has played right field for like extended chunks as well.
Yeah,
so
we needed a right fielder last year, and we would have had a great outfield with Julio, Randy, and Luis.
I have Atlanta winning the NL East, by the way.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't know what happened to them last year. I know Acuna was hurt. Michael Harris Jr. fell into some trouble. They traded for Kelnick, who was clearly a bust, even when they traded for him.
So, do you remember the year the Warriors were terrible in basketball?
Last year?
And then the first time when they drafted Wiseman.
Yeah.
They were horrible for a year because everybody got hurt and they had like the year from hell. That's kind of what the Braves were last year. They just had a year from hell. They're going to be fine. I'm not worried about the Atlanta Braves.
All right.
They're going to be competitive.
So here's what I got. I got Mets, Phillies, Braves, Marlins, Nationals.
I have Braves, Phillies, Mets, Marlins, Nationals.
You have the Mets in third?
I do not believe in this Mets team at all. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I do not believe in this Mets team.
No, I like your conviction. I don't agree with it, but I like it.
I didn't believe in them last year either, and I was right. So,
all right, fair. All right, let's move on to the NL Central, where the Brewers will not be back at the top, in my opinion. The Cubs are gonna take.
This is the most fun division in baseball, by the way.
I really do like this. Is gonna be a lot of summer.
This is so fun.
A lot of day game summer mashing is what this is gonna be, dude. So when you're waiting for your game to be played at night, you're gonna watch these teams mash each other in the days, especially the Cubs. They had 92 wins last year. I think they go up to 97, and they take the division from Milwaukee, who will probably finish third behind Cincinnati, then Pittsburgh, then St. Louis.
I have Chicago winning the division. I have Milwaukee in second, Cincinnati in third, because I think they're going to drop a little bit. And then St. Louis and Pittsburgh, because I think St. Louis is just that. They're both bad. I think both of those.
We're way different on this division.
But here's the thing. I think Pittsburgh and St. Louis are going to be really close. So they're going to be like flip-flopping a whole bunch. So realistically, like they could go either way on that one.
All right. Connor Griffin, Connor with a K, has not played a single inning of Major League Baseball. Pittsburgh is not like a destination city for players to go to, but they have an awesome fan base. It's a beautiful city. They have a beautiful stadium. For the love of God,
a horrible owner.
If you're the GM or owner of this team, you have to do everything possible to keep Paul Skeens in your city. He's the best pitcher in baseball. All right. How do you do that? You sign Connor Griffin to a long-term major contract. And I know it's risky. And I know he hasn't even played an inning of Major League Baseball. He's the number one prospect in all of baseball. And he's going to be a masher at the major league level. Do it. Keep Paul Skeens interested in being there.
Can I outline to you a funny possibility in this whole thing?
You may.
What if they do all this and Connor Griffin comes up and let's just say he's average. He's not great, but he's not a bust either. He's just good. This is an overpay if he's just good, by the way. This is an overpay.
Yeah. But it could be an underpay if he's a superstar.
Right, but this is a hypothetical, so bear with me.
He's 19, dude. Go ahead.
I would not have done this contract. Only because I think giving a 19-year-old this much money before he does anything at the major league level is dangerous for the reasons I'm about to outline. Because if this guy's just a really solid major league player, you just overpaid. If this guy's great, you just underpaid, as you just said. But there's a possibility this guy's a bust. I think it's unlikely he's a bust because I think he's about as close to a sure thing as you can get in terms of young prospects like this. I thought the same thing about Paul Skeens. The Pirates have their way of lucking in to these like surefire, you can't fuck this guy up if you try prospects. And that's how they end up with these guys. That's how they ended up with Garrett Cole. That's how they ended up with Paul Skeens. And to a certain extent, that's how they've ended up with a bunch of these guys.
And
Bubba Chandler. That's how they ended up with Bubba Chandler too.
I'm going to fight you to the death on this, and I'm going to tell you why. All right. It is a risk to sign a player to a, let's say, 10-year deal, 8-year deal, without them ever having played at the major league level. That I will give you. The numbers that are being thrown around right now for 8 years is like $110 to $120 million. Now, that equals roughly about $13 to $15 million a year. I remember 10 years ago when we got Robinson Cano, we were paying him $25 million a year, which is considered chump change at this point. So if you sign this kid for 8 years now and guarantee him $110 to $20 million, and he comes up and he's even average, you're getting a deal. If he becomes a superstar in that time, you are getting the top prospect in baseball.
But you still have to pay Paul Skeens here, and this is a notoriously
but that allows you to do it.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, dude. You've got to take a risk somewhere to make him even want to sign the papers.
But where are they going to get the money to pay Paul Skeens? Where are they going to get the money?
Medal. They have money to spend, dude. He's got championship medal in his veins. He's not going to.
I think he's going to be a Yankee. If you want me to be honest,
you know what? You're probably fuck you, dude. Fuck you to hell, dude.
For what?
Can't even believe you said that on my show.
Probably going to be. He said he wants to.
All right, that's all the more reason they need to get this contract with Connor Griffin done. Do it tomorrow. You're dumb if you don't. It's $15 million a year at most. That's what Cal Raleigh makes for the next 6 years.
I mean, Cal Raleigh is worth probably more than that.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing, dude. He could have gotten twice what we gave him. The
Dodgers might have given him $50 million a year. Who knows?
That still blows my mind, dude. Honestly. Wow. He decided to stay in Seattle, where he's going to be constantly overlooked for MVPs or any other awards, unless he wins a World Series, for half the money he could have got somewhere else. Cal Raleigh, you're a great baseball player. You're a terrible businessman, but I love you forever and ever, sir. All right.
Terrible business, though.
Yeah, terrible business. What are you doing? Bet on yourself, bro. All right. The only thing left to discuss is that I guess we're done.
Yeah, the last division is just predictable as hell. I
mean, it's predictable at the top. Everything under that is nothing matters burger. I mean, Colorado Rockies could win 88 games and still not make the playoffs. So
you think the Rockies could win 88 games?
No, that's what I'm saying. This division doesn't matter. It's already locked up. The Dodgers are going to win, and then it's going to be between San Diego, San Francisco, and Arizona for second, third, and fourth. And you know Colorado's going to finish it up with a big old sloppy turd.
Of the four teams I mentioned earlier, the Angels, the Twins, the Rockies, and the White Sox, the Tankathon, as I'm calling it. Who do you think finishes with the worst record in the Tankathon?
Maybe you see this little patch of dirt down below Ben. Maybe we should plant graves there for the Twins, the White Sox, the Rockies, and who was the other one?
The Angels.
The Angels. We'll just have little tombstones next time, and we'll write progressively RIP on them as the season. And we'll plant flowers over the courses of the shows.
Oh my gosh. Look, do you know how embarrassing it's going to be if one or all four of those teams end up being really good?
Oh my God.
Well, the Rockies are fucked, but the other three...
I actually am going to do that. I'm going to turn this baseball field into a graveyard, and every time we have a show, whoever's in last place in the division, their tombstones will be in the dirt there.
All right, Damon, I'm going to ask you one team in every division that you're ready to cross off right now. So the NL West, we're ready to cross off the Colorado Rockies. I think we're in agreement on that one.
Dude, the Colorado Rockies, here's what you got going for you, okay? You got
your ballpark.
You got watery beer. You got an atmosphere that will allow you to be able to attend games and have them be fun because every ball hit at 30% power has a chance of leaving the yard, yet somehow you're still terrible. Yeah, the Rockies are checked off the list. They're in the graveyard.
Do you want to cross off the Pirates or the Cardinals in the Central? You can only pick one.
Cardinals are crossed off, and that's because we took their best player, Donovan. The Pirates still have a chance to sign Connor Griffin and keep Paul Skeens for life. Goodbye, Cardinals. Guess what, Ben? They're going up the arch, and they're getting stuck somewhere between the halfway and three-quarter mark.
The NL East, who are you crossing off? I mean, this is between Washington and Miami.
Yeah, the Nationals, they may have a crime-free city to live in now, but the crime is their baseball team. So they're into the graveyard.
The Marlins could do something stupid and somehow make the playoffs.
You know what, Ben?
I don't think
the Marlins are in Miami. That alone makes them not the worst team in that division. Because even if baseball sucks, you can still do a million other things.
That's true. You make a point. The AL West, I think we've already agreed it's the Angels.
Yeah. The Angels have halos because they're fucking dead. They're dead on arrival. Okay? They literally are angels.
Okay, the AL East, this one's a little harder to cross somebody off. Probably Tampa.
You know what? It is absolutely 100% the Tampa Bay.
Devil Rays. Yeah,
Devil Rays.
I mean, that's what I call them.
I almost said Buccaneers, so I've clearly forgotten they're even a team to begin with.
Do you want to cross off the Twins, the White Sox, or both?
Look, for the sake of conversation and having you as my co-host on the show, I have to keep the Twins alive at least till midseason. We can kill you off in have you seen the show Lost?
A little bit, yeah.
We can kill you off in some kind of mysterious paranormal way. But for the sake of reasoning right now, the Windy City is dominated by the Cubs. So, the White Sox are just a trail of a fart left over by the Cubs. They're in the graveyard.
So what you're saying is the Twins are probably dead. You're just not ready to say it yet.
Correct. The Twins, they have Mall of America. They have a lot of good mom and pop restaurants up there to keep things nice. And the cold's going to go away here soon. So,
but the baseball is going to be just atrocious.
That's true. But you do have the basketball stadium right next door. So,
hey, look at it. Well, the Wolves are falling apart too. Let's not forget about that. They're collapsing. Hey, you guys may finish above us in basketball. I'm not even kidding. Portland may. They're running.
They're a bag of asses as well, though.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, at least they're not the Colorado Rockies.
No, but guys, I don't know when we're going to do this show again. Maybe after the first week of the season, so we can start taking the temperatures here. But there will be a graveyard in that dirt. There will be.
Look, all I'm saying is that there is no other sport where we can sit here for an hour and 20 minutes and talk about why half the league sucks and still say we're excited.
Well, I mean, for the first 30 minutes, we talked World Baseball Classic, so we're about an hour.
Okay, so for an hour, we can sit here and talk about why half this league sucks, and we're still excited for the season. Hell, his team is good. At least your team's good.
Hey, everything's alleged at this point. We don't know anything right now.
Oh, so you're telling me there's a chance the Mariners could be bad? I just don't believe you.
Well, I don't want to believe that either, so I'll just leave it at that.
Unless
we could come here next week and the Twins could be undefeated. It could happen.
If every game gets rained out, sure. Yeah, it's possible. We're talking about a week straight of rainouts.
It is April in Minnesota. So
I mean,
March.
we're on the road for the next week. What are you talking about?
All right, well, fuck me. Anyway, whatever, whoever your team is, it's baseball season officially tomorrow. Who is less excited than these two? Well, maybe not Ben so much, but no, Ben, you're still excited. God damn it.
I just said I was excited, but my team sucks. I'm not excited to watch. Here's the deal. I'm excited for baseball, but I'm not excited for my team. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been there.
There's a big difference. I love baseball. I fucking hate my team right now.
All right,
we're terrible.
We'll see you. What is it? Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
It's what?
It is Tuesday.
Yeah,
the Twins are off next Tuesday, and I think the Mariners are too.
All right, we might see you guys next Tuesday and see how the first week of the season shook out.
What if both of our teams are 0-6?
Then I probably won't do it. If that's the case, the two teams in the graveyard will be our two teams right below us. But here's the
who do you guys even play? Who do you guys even play on Thursday?
We play the Guardians to open the season.
Oh, you'll kick their ass.
So here's the thing, Ben. You tell us about 2 Marks and a Spark. One last time. I know, but that was like an hour ago. So,
well, we're doing the show on Monday again this week.
What
because
are you covering just this week?
Usual Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, no pay-per-view this week. Thank goodness. Because whenever there's a pay-per-view, we have to do the show at like 11 o'clock at night, and that kind of makes Damon want to shoot people.
Pew pew.
Including me sometimes when I tell them we need an extra 5 minutes to get shit ready to go. But it could be worse. We could have to talk about the Twins every game, which would make me hate myself more than I already do. Just remember, folks, no matter how bad your baseball team is, they're not the Colorado Rockies, probably. And they're definitely not those fucking idiots, also known as the Tins.
All right. That's Ben Shrewsbury representing the Tins of Minnesota.
Tins.
I'm James Marv representing the Seahawks Super Bowl champion and hopefully the World Series Mariners champions in the same year. Who has it better than us? I'll see you guys next week. James Marv, Ben Shrewsbury. This is the show. Thank you for tuning in. And God bless you.
What?
I don't know.